the greatest president of all time? Well, if you ask the current occupant of the White House, you will get the answer you probably expect. Him. Trump sharing this chart on Truth Social, ranking American presidents throughout history from failures to the greatest. Sleepy Joe and Barry Hussein at the very bottom. And of course, he and he alone graces the very top, even above the likes of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. The GOAT, that's the greatest of all time, Jessica, was in Texas, taking his presidency to infinity and beyond, giving medals to the astronauts of NASA's Artemis II moon mission, and announcing a brand new U.S. Space Academy to rival the likes of West Point. He then had a chat with the folks aboard the International Space Station, clearly envious of one astronaut's wicked stash.
Well, this is a great honor. To be with you is a great honor. And I wouldn't do it. I will tell you right now. I hate to admit it. I would not want to do it. But some people love it more than anything, and you have amazing courage. And you look at Venezuela, when you look at what we've done with the drug people coming in by boat and by land, frankly. Would you like to say with that beautiful mustache? I want to get a mustache like that. Would you like to say something? Go ahead. Would you like to say?
Absolutely, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, the mustache is a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, anytime one of my sons comes home with a beautiful stash, I don't want to hear from them. But Greg, you know, you spent a long time editing magazines, writing for magazines. As you know, anytime you write a list, it's the most controversial thing.
Yeah, you can just grab anybody's attention. I'm sure CNN right now is trying to find a psychic and a Ouija board to interview dead presidents over this list. Because but I think Trump made a huge mistake here. He's addressing the past presidents and not future ones. He needs to make clear that he is not only the best in what already happened, but will be the best of what will ever be. I think he really sold himself short. By the way, no one else is going to do this, so why not do it? You know, we got to remember, when you hear the word historian, you think some kind of crusty, well-respected person. No. They're just old liberals. They're just a cluster of bold-faced names who are guilty of plagiarism, fabricating citations. Their factual errors are countless because nobody counts them. The people who certify the official history are drawn from a profession that is uniformly politically lopsided. We know this. So history and media is self-reinforcing, and they're rewarded for a moralistic tale of history that is almost never true. You never get what happened. And I know this now, being on this planet for, 40 years. History sits in the humanities department. It's the conservative to liberal ratio is like 1 to 99. The faculty is uniformly left. When they say historians agree, it's because they all vote one way. So why not do this? Why not stick a finger up their ass and make them scream? By the way, Trump is doing a lot of things. This is fun. But him doing the Space Force is huge. Space Academy, the Trump accounts, the drug prices, Maha, Venezuela, Iran, TBD. You can agree that he might not be the greatest president ever, but no one has hit the ground running and done so much, not just identifying problems with the country, but actually saying, let's do something about it, as opposed to Democrats tearing things apart with no solution, Jessica.
Without a doubt, most consequential. And
most consequential in the history of all world leaders since the beginning of time, except for the great Jesus Christ.
So, Shannon, none whatsoever. Shannon, watching him interact with the astronauts, it's kind of magical to watch.
It is fun because you can see his real personality and how much he wants to have this interaction with them, admires what they do, and it's hard to impress him. So you have these astronauts flying around, and he's like, "Listen, you guys are brave, and that's really cool." And I think, as far as the list is concerned, if you love and support this president, you would be so disappointed disappointed if he did not put himself first. You would expect that he would. But I also like to picture him sitting around like, oh, I cannot wait to drop this list and watch heads explode, because he really enjoys doing that. And I can imagine that he was like, all right, who's going to be the first person to do the stuff that Greg is talking about, to go out there and be like, how dare he do this list? So I think he's really going to enjoy watching the rollout of the list. And I think he really enjoys being down there in Texas, where he's going after Tallarico as well, which we can talk about.
Which historian are we going to see on CNN or MS
It's
now
already,
tonight?
I'm sure it's already happening right now. It's not going to wait.
I really can't.
Not going to wait for tonight. I'm sure it's probably already happening.
Douglas Brinkley.
It's probably already happening right now. But he's good at that kind of stuff.
Yep.
He's good at the Tallarico stuff, because he has a villain. And then and listen, he's so engaged. The GOP loves him on the campaign trail because they feel like he's their best messenger. And when he has something like this, to have this opponent, kind of this foil to go back and forth for, I think you see how much he enjoys being out there.
So, Jessica, do you have a Telefrico bumper sticker, or are you putting the world's greatest president's poster on your fridge at home?
None of the above at this point. And I was thinking, when Greg brought up the historian issue, and I was thinking back to how Trump marketed a golf caddy as a historian. Remember?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
It is.
He might be green,
important
but
for
so
him
what?
to be in Texas, obviously, to do this with the Artemis II, but the campaigning part of it is really what's important at this moment. James Tallarico is up in majority of the polls. Ken Paxton is a uniquely poor candidate. He barely does interviews, even though Jesse begged him to. Then when he does do it, it goes badly. He can't fundraise. Cornyn staffers are moving over to the Tallarico campaign, because that is the campaign with a candidate of, has some moral decency and is a credible person. And
Which says, maybe says something about Republicans in the Cornyn's office, but
oh yeah, it's just because of a bunch of rhinos. It's not that they elected a guy who got impeached by his own party, serial philanderer. I could go on, obviously, but
Please do. I haven't heard this yet.
Okay. Well, you probably haven't heard this then. The Tallarico campaign is asking a court right now to unseal Paxton deposition surrounding the securities fraud mess. Rumor has it that there's some big stuff in there if it does get unsealed. I'm not saying that this would keep him out of continuing to run, for instance, or anything like that, but the Paxton campaign doesn't need another headache like this, considering all of the baggage that he already has. And conditions in Texas for the average Texan are not great. Everything.
That's why everybody's leaving Texas. Everybody's leaving Texas for California.
You make a joke about it. Greg Abbott is taking it seriously. The Republican Party is taking it seriously. And Donald Trump is there because he's been told by Susie Wiles enough that he has to take it seriously, too.
Well, I don't go off of rumors about Ken Paxton. I go off of facts about Tallarico. He says things like the Bible never mentions abortion, lies. He says things about Christianity, disparaging comments, despite saying he's a Christian himself. This is all on tape. In fact, we have some new tape tomorrow on my show coming out of him. So there's a lot on the record for Tallarico. Ken Paxton does do interviews. He's done, I think, 4 to 5 on my show. So there's that. When you said historians, Greg, I started thinking not about a golf caddy. I started thinking about Joe Biden summoning all of these historians to the White House, pontificating about how he was going to be the next FDR during his term. That didn't quite pan out. But what has panned out is the Trump presidency. You listed so many great things, the Trump accounts, but no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. This is huge. The CPI, you mentioned drug prices, 3.1% decline in drug prices, the biggest decline in 60 years. The border crossings, the lowest point since 1970. Fentanyl, decline crossings by 56%. That's before you get to, as you mentioned, Venezuela, the Ayatollah gone, the 8 conflicts President Trump resolved, and not to mention the fraud epidemic. I know you care about health care. Well, the best thing you can do for health care in this country is to make the Medicare trust fund solvent. And what they are doing with fraud, Dr. Oz estimates that instead of running out in 7 years, it will be extended by 14 years. So I'm tired of hearing the GOP doesn't have a health care plan. Their plan is cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse. So Medicare is actually there when people go to take out.
What about the 200,000 Medicaid folks in Texas alone who've lost their health insurance because of the Republicans, or the people whose Obamacare subsidies went away and paying 400% more? That isn't a health care plan that you're putting out there.
Yeah,
It is kind of
it is.
interesting, though, that the idea of Medicare for all is not at all what it is, and you're still playing word games by
Medicare
calling it
for
that.
all who want it.
It's government-run.
We know.
Government.
Remember how people used to look at that on Democrats as like completely bonkers, and now it's just they keep incrementally moving to the left, and now even poor Jessica is trying to defend it. Poor Jessica.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.